Okay, here's an update on the Airlift pump that I made from scratch. What I have here is, here's a CFM gauge that a guy let me borrow. It's I think that stands for standard CFM, SCFM. And you can see here there's two. So I'm running about 1.3 CFM right there through this 1/4 inch line. Let me show you how I made the pump. The well is 68 feet deep. And this is basically what the pump consists of. It's really easy. You got your 1.25 inch pipe. I don't think you can see down the pipe, but it's basically a 1/4 inch tube that I took a screwdriver at an angle and just made a hole with the screwdriver, and I stuck this 1/4 inch tube. It's drip tape. You want to use something bigger than this 1/4 inch because it creates too much back pressure immediately. You get too much high pressure with this small size pipe like this. It's really too small, and I'm going to upgrade my pump to a 1/2 inch line just because this is way too small. So don't use the 1/4 inch because it'll create too much pressure. You'll get 20 psi to 25 psi right out of the gate without even dropping the pump down in the well, just because the line's so small. Basically, back to this pump, you can just take any pipe, drill a hole in the side, and this is what your air goes in. Your compressed air goes in this 1/4 inch tube, and then just feed this 1/4 inch line about maybe a foot or even more. You can stop the 1/4 inch line. I don't know if you can see this, but it stops about a foot inside the pipe there. So the end of the 1/4 inch line stops somewhere around in here. And then you glue this on to the end of your 1.25 inch pipe that goes down into your well. And this one happens to go down about maybe 55 feet, but I'm going to make a better, when I upgrade this pipe, this tube to 1/2 inch, I'm going to send this all the way to the bottom of the well, which is 68 feet deep. And I should be able to get more gallons per minute. Right now it's flowing about 6 gallons per minute. As you can see, it's not a consistent flow because of the nature of the Airlift technology. It's just, the way I understand it is the pressure is so intense down there, it's like a swimming pool. Your ears pop at 10 feet. Well, this well is 68 feet. And when you're sending compressed air down there, the bubbles are small. And as the bubbles are coming up, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're trying to get to the top because of the high pressure down there. And once they start going to the top, they get bigger and bigger, and they're basically lifting or plunging the water out of the well. And the water is going in, of course, down here at the open pipe. So basically all the Airlift pump consists of, the one that I've figured out, is just a simple air tube drilled in the side of your delivery pipe, and of course the end is open. The water comes in down here and it goes straight up. It wants to get back to the surface where it came from. It's a simple concept and it works. That's about 6 gallons per minute at 1.3 cubic feet per minute of air. And your standard aeration pump, which is like a miniature compressor, can probably deliver 3 to 2 cubic feet per minute at 40 to 50 feet down in your well. And that's what I'm going to experiment with once I upgrade my tube size that doesn't give me back pressure. Then I can see exactly what kind of pressure I'm getting on my gauge, because this is not reading right. It's showing about 30 right now, just because I'm immediately getting the pressure on this back pressure on the line, because this line, this 1/4 inch tube is about 60 feet long. And just before I even set the pump in the ground, I tested out the pressure, and it was already at 25 psi because of the small tube. So that was a mistake on my part, not realizing that I have so much back pressure with this little tube. So if you're going to do this yourself, use a 1/2 inch tube, or at least something bigger than this 1/4 inch tube, and test your pressure before you put the pump down in the well, because you should not have any pressure on this gauge before you drop your pipe in the well. And the reason why I did all this is because, of course, I want to fill the pond and irrigate the fruit trees. But the real reason is because this is a third pump I pulled out of my well that gets clogged up with iron and clay, and it's this is a deep well pump. It's a 1-horse, and this is a pump I got from Home Depot, and I don't recommend these pumps for these scenarios for shallow wells like mine because they clog up. Look at this. And this pump was running when I pulled it out, but it was down to 1 gallon per minute. It's because it was so clogged up, and it's heavy. So here's the advantages of an Airlift pump like what you see over there, what I made from scratch. The advantages is you don't have to have all this wire down the hole. You know, this is an electric wire that runs down, that connects to the pump. You don't have to have that. You don't have to have really emergency pull rope if you don't want. Even though I'm going to put an emergency pull rope on the bottom of my pipe just for, you know, my own, so I can sleep better. But anyway, this is what you're replacing. You got this right here, this homemade Airlift pump, which is basically what I have running right there in that well, replaces, and this weighs nothing, you know, not even a pound, replaces this heavy pump that has to have electric wire, 220, that runs all the way up to the house. And you have to have this safety rope beside it because the thing's so heavy, if the pipe breaks, you got to pull the pump out of the well. And another thing is it takes a couple of people to pull that pump. And this new setup that I have here, watch this. I can lift it up with one hand and pop it back down. It's that simple. So it's really light. The disadvantage of an Airlift pump is it's not a consistent flow, and you really can't put that much back pressure on it because it doesn't want to work right, which is that's just common sense. So if you were going to use this for your house, or you need to get water pumped up to your house, what you do is you get you a 200-gallon tank or a 1,000-gallon tank like this or whatever, depending on your needs, and then hook up a pressure tank to the bottom of your tank and have that running up to your house. And the benefit of that is you don't have anything breaking down in the bottom of your well ever. So all you'd have to replace is your compressor that would be running your Airlift pump like this, and I'm sure you can hear the air, and or the pressure tank pump, which those things really never go out, and if they do, it's all above ground and you can maintain it yourself. Another cool thing is I have a hand pump set up on this well, and even with this Airlift pump running, the water level's still high enough for this hand pump to work. So that's the update on my Airlift pump, and I'll give you another update. I guess it'll be part 3. This is part 2. The first one I did was at nighttime when I just finished this project. But part 3, I should have this line replaced with 1/2-inch line so I can get my CFM up, because I got this valve cranked all the way open, and that's as high as I can get my cubic feet per minute, just because of the restriction of the line will not let it flow any faster no matter how much pressure I put on it. And I'm running almost 30 psi, and I can just crank that sucker up to 60, but I have to bypass the gauge, and it still doesn't increase the cubic feet per minute because the line's too small. So if you're going to do this yourself, definitely don't use the 1/4-inch drip tape that I got from the hardware store. And that's all this is 1/4-inch drip tape tube. You can get the 1/2-inch irrigation tube at most hardware stores, 100 foot of that for like $11. So it's really affordable to set up your own, to replace your existing deep well pump with an Airlift pump. And the further down you put this, your Airlift, the better. So this new setup I'm going to have is going to go all the way to the bottom of the well. I'm going to replace all this pipe. And my new design, this is going to be a 1/2-inch tube, and it's going to go all the way to the bottom of the well. And I'll give you that part 3 update. So there you go. Airlift pump works 6 gallons per minute all day long. And the compressor's in my garage. Right now it's about 200 feet away.